calm the F down, chill out.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
The hard stuff is as important as the easy stuff.
Yeah.
It's all important. It's all a blessing.
I love it. What's up, Half Centenarian? So I'm here in New York City at the Freedom Party. I'm here to show Herbert Holler some of my techniques on the ones and twos. I'm coming. Anyway, they ain't ready for me. It's just too many people pulling at my skill set. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's happening, Half Centenarians? So we are here in New York City. You know why? We came to party. We came to party with none other than Kenneth Hyman, better known as Herbert Holler. Yes. So this is the big deal. I am here to kind of help him learn a little bit more about DJing. Yeah. Tons of skills, you have no idea. But before we get started with all of that, I'm gonna let Herbert introduce himself, give us a little bit of backstory, and we'll dive right into this conversation.
Okay, my name is Herbert Holler. I don't need to repeat my government name. I've been a DJ and event producer here in New York, based in New York for over 20 years, probably 25 plus years. Tonight, we're here at the Freedom Party, which is the longest running old school dance party in New York City history and perhaps world history. It's 19 plus years and 800 plus parties. We do this every month in New York, in Philadelphia, and formerly Chicago as well, where we'll be back soon. And I think that's our raison d'etre. So.
Yeah, so this is something to kind of think about because you've been doing this for a long time, and now you're at this place where it's just commonplace and people talk about the Freedom Party, because that's kind of how I heard about it, because there were some young ladies that I was coming out here to visit and they were like, you got to come to the Freedom Party. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how that all got started.
So in 2003, I had been, had a few years of DJing under my belt, and I was getting discouraged because all the parties that I was doing or attending were, you had to play whatever was, top 8 at 8. You had to get through a velvet rope. You had to, put money down for a table, and that's not what nightlife in New York was.
Right.
That, from my experience, and it wasn't dope. And I was like, well, I want to do something dope. So I came up with this concept for a party to do old school and classics, and I shopped around with different people and started a couple here and there, different iterations, and then I found a couple other people and some better collaborators, and then in 2003, I think towards the end of 2003, I think it was December, we were on our way with something here, and 19 plus years later, it's still going and still rocking on all cylinders. We do over 1,000 here at LPR, outside of the pandemic times, and same thing with the event in Philadelphia.
So you started here in New York and then branched into Philly and
Chicago?
Chicago?
Yeah, I put it together myself for Chicago. We were there for 7 years, once a month, and then that fell to the wayside, and the trip was a little bit too much for the situation. So I decided to try Philly. It's driving distance, and Philly's just been rocking.
Wow.
We're on an old boat in Philly on Columbus Boulevard called the Mashulu. Big old historic ship, and we just packed that thing, and they definitely rocked the boat.
So you still do that one, you just don't do Chicago,
I don't
right?
do Chicago, right. So we do once a month in Philly and once a month here in New York.
Very nice.
We used to do every single week in New York.
Okay.
For 13 years, every Friday. So that's why we have so many parties, because we just did it.
Even if we were here walking in, we may not even assume, like, you're more unassuming.
Right.
Of that position, so I'm sure you just love that, and then coming out and rocking the
I'll be honest, it's kind of cool to be like, oh, who's that? And then they're like, oh, I kind of like that. It's kind of it's not, it's kind of cool.
Don't judge a book.
But it's okay, because that we're humans, and that's what we do. We try to process information quickly, and so they see me walking down the street, they're like, see me here behind the DJ booth, it's like, well, what? That doesn't compute.
That doesn't compute, right.
Right, and the book that I wrote will add to that, does not compute.
So talk to us about that too, your book.
So I wrote a book over the pandemic. I'm shopping it around now to different publishers, and it's not the typical DJ book. It's not like, it's not cool.
Right. But your history isn't connected to DJing, right? If you went to school and you were not into music necessarily.
Well, no, I was really into music. I wasn't taking any music courses at school, and I didn't go to school to be a DJ, but my background was actually very connected to it. I was born and raised in the Atlantic City area, My father was an F&B director at Resorts Casino Hotel.
Okay.
And I had gone with him to work a lot and saw all of the greats
Gotcha.
performing and soaked all that nightlife and all
Mm-hmm.
that grandeur of the darkwood oak and the candle lights and the well-dressed people and all the excitement. And then he also managed some places in Philly, a chain of nightclubs called Duke's and then a restaurant called the Fish Market. And I went with him to those things too. And
Okay,
so it was always there.
Gotcha.
And I was always into music, and I was always going to the high school dances and dancing and doing the Running Man that your daughter seemed to have perfected, and the Happy Feet and all all that stuff. And I wanted to make people happy, so when I went to NYU was to be a psychiatrist. I was pre-med, but then I went out one night and then I was no longer pre-med. It changed it. And I wanted
what
to
a
do,
different,
yeah.
similar path, right?
Well, I
because
make
you
people
still
happy.
make happy.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
Still making people happy,
Exactly.
just not kind of in this situation as opposed to being on the dance floor.
Right.
But we all come together like music. What is that? That auditory sense of bringing back old memories and just good energy. It brings back good times and all that kind of stuff.
It's a good counterbalance too, because there's just too much attention to algorithm music and
So tell me, what is algorithm music, so that I mean, maybe you can give me an example of what that is, because I don't know the terminology, but it would be.
In my opinion, when new artists like Drake, not that I think there's anything wrong with him, he's extraordinary. When they make music, it seems to check the boxes of everything that's hot, but then it disappears in a few weeks, and there's no soul in it. It just seems to be what
Pumping
people
out what-
want to listen
yeah.
to. It's got the 808 trap sort of vibe, and it's like the same thing.
Okay.
That to me is algorithm music.
Got
Or
it.
the when you listen to dance songs that all sound similar, like they're all tapping from the same formula. That's the algorithm thing. When you
Got it now.
you go to a party and people, will you play ABBA? I'm like, you didn't know ABBA before it got hot on TikTok. That's sort of an algorithm situation. I'll play it because my job is to make people happy.
Absolutely.
And if that's what they want to hear, if somebody tonight wants to hear that, and I get a sense that everybody wants to hear "Gimme, Gimme, Gimme," then I'll play "Gimme, Gimme, Gimme," but they're probably not going to want to hear that.
Yeah.
Because they don't. The people
They
that
don't
come
know that
here,
song.
the people that come here are not tied to trends and algorithms.
Okay, got
like
it.
that. And that's why I love this party, because it's just it's just timeless. It's like a big wedding party.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot. So now, what is your favorite genre of music?
It changes. So right now, I would say it's a toss-up between three things. I would say a toss-up between classic R&B, yacht rock, and deep house.
Yacht rock.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and Google that.
Well, no, yacht rock is smooth pop music from the late 70s
Okay.
to early 80s, heavily influenced by jazz and R&B, and created and produced by the finest studio musicians in the world.
Okay, so what would you tell your 25-year-old self? Like where you are right now, you're out here rocking it with the old heads,
Right.
and we love it,
Yeah.
love it. What would you tell your 25-year-old self if you had to look at that in retrospect?
Relax.
Relax.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it, huh?
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
calm the F down, chill out.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
The hard stuff is as important as the easy stuff.
Yeah.
It's all important. It's all a blessing.
I
That's what
love
tell
it.
myself.
And so here's my last thing. So if you ever need a hype person, I'm just saying, like, I got the mic right here. I got on the red shirt and the jacket. So I'm just saying, whenever you just need a hype person,
I always need a hype person.
I'm ready. I'm
We
ready.
could try it out tonight, maybe later on. You grab the mic and just do something.
Maybe with
I just put you on the spot now. You're like, maybe not.
Maybe not exactly tonight, but
Okay.
eight night.
Eight
So
night,
I'm
sure.
telling you, I'm gonna get my rap together and we're gonna
Okay.
have a yes. I can definitely be your hype person because
Awesome.
I think I got the energy, right? So okay. So in closing, where do you feel, or how do you feel you're living your best life right now? You've been doing this for a long time. You're in your jam.
I got a lot of work to do still. Not necessarily on the work that I'm doing, but the way that I live and coexist with the work. Because oftentimes I find myself not being grateful because I've been doing it for such a long time.
Got it.
And so when you do things for a long time, you look for different stimuli, new adventures and new barriers and boundaries to break. And they don't always come. There's oftentimes you just got to settle in. You got to dig your feet in and just ride out. And I'm not good with those times.
Yeah.
And sometimes that leads to me being impatient or doing
Yeah.
hasty things. That's the work I still need to do on
on yourself.
On just chilling out and being blessed and grateful and being thankful and just, not doing the mental Olympics about, what's next and where can I go and what can I do?
What can I do next? Yeah, I get it.
Right.
The antsy part of life.
There is a point sometimes where you do need to switch it up, and you do it. I don't know when that point is, and I want it to come organically.
Gotcha.
I don't want to force myself down that road.
So I tell you what, we're getting ready to go into the party in just a second. I know you have to go in and set up, and I'm appreciative of you taking this little time to squeeze us in here, right?
I'm grateful that you deem me worthy enough to talk to your audience.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you guys, Half Centenarians, you're gonna see me on stage later on tonight, and so yeah, don't hate. It's gonna be on Instagram, right? Thank you so much for allowing us to be here and be at the party tonight. We are so grateful for you and what you're doing. Thank you for continuing to strive. Longevity has its place. I understand that organically you might pivot in a little bit, but
there's beauty in the gray.
That's right.
Gotta let the gray happen,
Say that one more time.
There's beauty in the gray.
Half Centenarians, enough
the gray
said.
hairs.
All it is.
My chest is hairs. I don't have enough up here to show. I think I got a couple long.
All of it. And there is beauty in the gray. It says a lot.
Do they do
it's
just
wisdom.
for men for chest hairs? No, it's a serious question.
Okay. Yeah.
Probably, right?
Probably. I would go with yes.
But then if I get the wrong color, you'll see me coming with like pale lemon yellow chest hairs. That's not going to be too gangster.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that. And go see if they have some just for men for gray hair for your chest hair.
For your chest hairs.
Women probably need it too. Half Centenarians.
That's a cut.